For him, the path of least resistance. For Esther, the last day she walks.
Yeah. Thank you, Abraham, so much. Let's get straight to the point. My subject to deal with is actually the direct continuation of the first one. Because of my thick accent, I took a little note to help my speech.
We can hear you. Can you hear him? We are appreciating your slowness. That makes it easier.
Thank you. I'm a doctor who has always had a passion to get to know the origin of consciousness, or rather I'm a person who decided to become a doctor because of this desire.
Or I was born thrilled with my knowledge about consciousness and about the expansion of consciousness. And because of that powerful pulsing vibration within me, I was inspired to occupations that would allow more satisfying unfolding.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I joined to a group of professionals who shared the same passion. Since beginning, our interest was aimed to a mediator which is present in our brains.
Say all of that again.
So since beginning, I joined to the group of professionals who shared the same passion.
Others, yes.
Others. And since beginning, our interest was aimed to a mediator which is present in our brain of every people and is supposed to be released in the moment of physical death or under ultimate stress.
Well, the reason that scientists and doctors and people who examine corpses believe that is because they think that the consciousness and the body are forever intertwined, and that once the consciousness is no longer flowing through the physical apparatus, that the consciousness ceases to flow. But that is not the case.
No.
There was consciousness before this body, and certainly consciousness after this body, and the consciousness experience while it was in this body has benefited and affected the consciousness forevermore. And that consciousness that was never apart ever, that consciousness that is now non-physically focused, has intimate, powerful interest in everything that the same consciousness was interested in while it was in that physical apparatus. In other words, nothing really changes.
Exactly. And we wanted to know it in our bones. And so we took it one by one. And what happened is actually a process of undressing, where you give away all your memories concerning you or your history or your own people or your beliefs. And you give away a memory of what is to be a human, and you give away also a memory that you have had memories.
Under what conditions are you giving these memories away?
Under the influence of this mediator which is in our brain. Still nothing which we are drops away. That consciousness which has been looking at this world through your eyes and through your other senses remains exactly as sharp as it has been. And
because it was never attached to your body. Your body is not a file cabinet storing it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And even more, it feels that you are much more alive than ever before.
Yes.
You do not regret anything, whatever it has been here, because you know the reason why all this happened. And stepping through this process they call death to non-physical is actually returning into our natural state of being.
Yes, because it's a releasing of any resistance that has caused you to be unnatural.
True. Now this process, it feels like a physical death, and you become so sure about this fact as we are sure that we are here on the boat alive. What is there is a non-physical reality which is much more real than this one.
So are you talking about affecting a physical apparatus in some way that they're having the death experience while they are still alive?
Yes.
And have you been doing that?
Yes, we all took that. And
Say it again?
We all went through this process, even several times.
And what was the effect when you returned to your consciousness in this physical body?
It was a relief.
Was it induced with a drug? Was it induced with hypnosis? What was?
No, it was actually, if I continue with this, it comes evident.
Get to it quickly.
Okay. It was consciousness that we are much more than we think to be.
Well, you see, the reason we're asking is because we're talking about these things all day, every day. We want to know what process you applied that caused this experience for someone who was not vibrationally understanding these things.
Actually, what our purpose of this study is that if mankind in general, if they would have an access to this experience of this death, that it is not such a, let's say, serious thing, it would actually take away the fear of death.
We agree with you.
And it would help immensely all people here who are suffering under their illusions.
So, if you are able to help someone accomplish the release of resistance and conjure a sort of death experience where they are now experiencing the freedom of no resistance. Our question to you is, when they return, do they have conscious memory of the experience?
At first they do not have, but later it creates so that they are conscious of this reality at the same time as they are conscious of this reality.
Because what you're describing can be accomplished in meditation.
Yes.
What you're describing can be accomplished in any steady raising of vibration, which is the same thing of releasing of resistance.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we were thinking that we appreciate, of course, this contrast here. We came here voluntarily to experience the contrast. But we also know...
But the contrast is not a bad thing, is it?
No, of course it's not.
And when you come back from this experience, do you then embrace contrast in a more robust way?
Well, actually, when you come back, you appreciate contrast.
Yes.
And you also become aware that everything here is meaningful. And you are not... Well, the word would become much better to come in.
And so is the process that accomplishes this a sensory deprivation unit? How do you bring someone to this place of no consciousness about a condition?
Well, here comes the wobble.
Yes.
Because I agree with you, Abraham, that this thing wouldn't exist here without a meaning. And now it is here in our hands. And we know that it has immense potential to help people, but we also know, like every stick has two ends, that this stick can also be not beneficial for evolution of consciousness in general.
Well, alignment is always beneficial. It is the gradualness of it that is more logical and more comforting. We still have not heard from you the process by which this is accomplished.
Oh, the process, you mean literal process, how do you do it?
Because they're all ready to sign up, they think.
Well, this is actually the problem, the wobbling, which has been in me. Should I actually talk about it? And yes, I came here for you to get clarity together, because this powerful moment of co-creation.
Well, over time, there have been hundreds of people in the hot seat who have accomplished some sort of contraption that they want to apply to others for the adjusting of their vibration. And what we always say is that this really is a personal and an inside job. It's something that you want to accomplish. And so certainly if it is something that is attracted to someone and it is something that they feel that they want to do, we can see benefit from it, but we do not see lasting benefit from it. We see benefit from it in the same way that hypnosis can change the way you feel momentarily, but it is not lasting.
I do agree totally with you with this, and that's why taking this molecule, actually it's very easy, and the only hard thing in this process is this feeling of kind of a transformation.
Well, since you are the creator of your own experience, and since there are millions of people that want to know that they are, since there is a movement about coming into alignment with who you are, we have no doubt whatsoever that this movement is underway and that a group of people such as this have the ability to achieve what you are describing on their own. And so for that reason, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not subject ourselves to someone else's assertion of anything on our behalf, because we understand that law of attraction is the manager of all things.
I think this was a perfect answer.
We think so too.
Thank you.
Yes. Don't let him sneak up behind you, and if you feel a prick, run.